Hello, this is Richard Pears from Finextra TV, and delighted to be joined by Justin Q today, who's a buy-side ESG analyst and CFA. Hey, how are you, Justin?
I'm very well, Richard. How are you today?
Yeah, very good. Thanks for joining us. We spent a lot of time together in the last couple of weeks with SustainableFinance.Live, and I wanted to have a quick chat with you, really just to sort of get a sense of, why you got involved in it in the first place.
Yeah, I mean that's a definitely good place to start on a Tuesday morning. I think that there's so much going on in terms of the space on ESG investing and sustainable finance, and I just threw out two jargons out there, and I think there's so much passion in this space that there's so much thought that goes into it. However, there's obviously a lot of challenges that goes behind it because we're moving very quickly from somehow considering this to really pushing this agenda very, very quickly. And so being involved is quite good to share some challenges and also best practices that I picked up from my day-to-day. And then, because ultimately we're here on a common goal, which is not only to generate amazing returns for our investors, but also to actually generate environmental social impact. So let's find a way to work on this. And this is the reason why I sort of got myself involved to start with.
Fantastic, and it was great to work with on that. Now, obviously, Keith from Core posed to us a challenge about the access to capital. What do you think the industry can do better, and your kind of role in helping innovative projects like his get the money that's going to make a difference?
I think it's about education and awareness, and sort of debunking the myth about impact means you have to give up returns. That is a traditional way of thinking that if you invest for something that generates positive impact to the environment or society, it eats into your return. Now, yes, that is true from a sort of philanthropical, old-fashioned CSR sort of mindset. But today, it is not the case, because if you are investing for impact, you are actually trying to solve the key megatrend issues in the world. For example, we have lots of issues with waste. You can invest in really forward-looking companies that are providing innovative solutions to how we can, I wouldn't say reduce plastic waste, but actually how can we give the second life to all these products, or things like renewable energy projects. They are actually much more, today with COVID, with the low oil prices, they are actually generating a much better return than investing in an oil platform. So it's not the case anymore that investing in positive impact to environment, societal means giving out your returns. So I think there's a lot of education behind it. I think the second thing on the education side is actually the how to do it. And I think this takes a bit of time to explain to people how you do it, how you monitor it, and then how do you actually go and search for these opportunities.
Yeah, and one of the big themes is the monitoring and investment of impact investment. What's your kind of big takeaway, the big thing we need to crack? Is it the data, or what's your feeling on the big theme?
I think the big thing is really to draw down to the very basic in terms of what are you trying to measure here? Who is your impact going to be given to, and to what extent your impact is going to be aiming for? And I think that is really important, because before you define this and focus so much on the fact that data is not available, I know people do say that, and I think that just feels a bit lazy, because if you haven't quite defined what you're trying to measure, then you wouldn't be able to measure it. And then if you just say, oh, I can't find it on the annual report, then, well, yeah, you wouldn't be there because nobody knows you're looking for it. If you want the data, you will look for it, just like a typical fundamental analyst. When you couldn't find the growth figure, or the dividend yield doesn't seem to make sense, or the cash flow doesn't make sense, you talk to the corporates and say, hey, this doesn't make sense to me. Explain to me a bit more. Same goes with your impact. So a corporate is saying that I am making chips for electric vehicles. Then you go to the extent to say, what's your percentage sales that goes into electric vehicles from your chip making, for example?
Yeah.
And so probe those questions, and then you get the answer to it. But if you don't care, you're like, oh, wow, the data's not there. Well, that seems to me to be quite lazy approach to it.
Fantastic. Now, listen, if nobody listening to this didn't actually attend day one, they didn't attend the workshops, what key takeaway, what insight, what place to go would you go? That was the thing that kind of resonated with me.
I think the when it comes to impact investing, the very good place to start is the impact management project, which is it's more like a working group type, but without any membership. So it's more like anyone can join type, and they do a lot of webinar sessions. And it's a very good place to start, because it was born out of a private equity, but it combines a lot of work with asset owners and asset managers and banks to actually figure out how to come up with a framework to measure impact. And there are a lot of case studies by some really good asset managers or asset owners about being honest and transparent about how they have done impact, whether it's large or small scale. So that's a very good place to start. Of course, there's this Global Investors Impact Investing Network, which is GIIN. That also has some stuff that goes underneath that as well. So these two are very good places to start, actually. And GIIN started more from the private equity side and moving to the public market side space. And then IMP, like I say, it was sort of started off by sort of Bridges, which is another private equity. So you have that private equity DNA behind it, but taking those best practice applied in the public market space, I think that's definitely a good place to start for people.
Fantastic. And of course, go to our workshop on day 2 that you were leading, which described a bit about this. And then we got into one particular way of looking about customer engagement, I think, didn't it? And the sort of human machine interface, debate. So that'll be an area to go and look at.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks so much today for joining us for this brief chat. We'll look forward to hearing a lot more from you in the near future. But for now, Justin, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Likewise.